Today's lesson is I can solve application problems when it comes to writing equations. And because we're working with some geometry concepts today, we first need to go over some angle rules. The first one are complementary angles. Complementary angles make a 90-degree angle, so they add to 90 degrees. So an example might look like, I know this is going to be a right angle, so it's a 90-degree angle. If we split it here, this one is 60, and then this one would have to be 30, because 60 and 30 add to 90. Supplementary angles add to 180 degrees, so they make a straight line. So if you have a straight line, we generally show it with an arch, the angle measurement, and if I split it here, this angle is 120 degrees, so then this other angle would have to be 60 degrees. And then vertical angles are kind of fun. Opposite angles are equal. So if we have two lines that cross, what that means is if this angle on top is 100 degrees, the angle across from it or on the bottom is also 100 degrees. And then that also implies that these other two angles would also be equal. Knowing that vocabulary and that information, our job is to write an equation showing the relationship and solving for x. So in this problem, I'm given this first angle of 49 degrees, and I am given a second angle of x degrees. When I look at those two angles, though, I know they're going to make a right angle or a 90-degree angle. So when I add them, so if I take 49 and I add it to x, it will equal 90 degrees. Then we just have to go ahead and solve. Draw your line and keep it balanced. To get x by itself, I need to get rid of that 49, so I will subtract 49. If I do it on the left side, I have to do it on the right side, and I end up with x equals 41, and it's 41 degrees. And then quick check, 49 plus 41 equals 90. Yep, 41 degrees is my answer. For this next problem, we need to write an equation showing our relationship between x and the 115-degree angle. So I'm trying to figure out what is the relationship going on with these two angles. And you can kind of see that when I highlighted them, they make a straight line. So these two angles make that straight line, which I know is going to equal 180 degrees. So I have to take my first angle, which is x, and I'm going to add it to my second angle of 115 and set that equal to 180. I have my equation. Now I need to go ahead and solve for x. In order to undo this adding 115, I will subtract 115, and I have to do it on both sides to keep it balanced. That cancels. So I get x equals 65 degrees. And then a quick check. 65 plus 115 equals 180. And that's true, so I have the correct answer. But now it's asking us to solve for y. And so I really like this one because I can look at things that are opposite. X is directly across from y. So because they are vertical angles, I can simply say that y equals 65 degrees because x is 65 degrees. I don't even have to write another equation, I just have a solution. Now we're getting into some basic word problems. So our first problem says that it costs $4 for a drink from Starbucks. If D represents the number of drinks, write an equation if the total cost was $56, and then we need to solve. So when we think about writing an equation for this problem, I always like to start with, I know I'm going to have an equal sign. So if I know I have an equal sign, and I like to think about what is this equaling? And I see I have total cost was 56. So I know my equation is going to have to equal how much I spent, which was $56. The other information I'm given is $4 a drink, and D is how many drinks I get. I don't know how many drinks I'm going to be buying though. So if I'm thinking in my head, one drink would be $4. If I bought 5 drinks, well, I would have to have 4 or 5 times. It'd be $20. If I bought 10 drinks, I would have 4 10 times, which would be $40. And so I realize what I'm doing is I'm multiplying. I'm taking then how much a drink costs times how many drinks I buy. $4 a drink, and each drink is D dollars, and all together it equals 56. So right here is my equation. I now need to solve this equation just like we always would. Undo multiplying with my dividing by 4, and I have to do it on both sides. And when I do that, I get D equals 14, and then I have to check my answer. So 14 times 4, well, I have 16, 56, it works out. And anytime we have a word problem, we write our answer in a sentence. D equals 14, it's how many drinks I bought. I bought 14 drinks. So I have my answer in a sentence, I've checked my work, and I have my solution. The next question says, Emily charges $8.50 per hour of babysitting. She was paid $51. Write and solve an equation showing how many hours she babysat for. So when I'm thinking about this, once again, I like to start with what I'm going to equal. I was paid a total of that $51. Now, I was paid $8.50 per hour. Per implies multiplying. So it's $8.50 times each hour I worked. And right there, I have my equation. Now I need to solve. I'm going to divide by $8.50 to cancel. And if I do it on one side, I do it on every side. Now we can use your calculator. 51 divided by 850. I get H equals 6. And so we have to check our answer to make sure it works. 850 times 6. Does it equal 51? Yes, it does. And then we have to write that sentence. How many hours did she babysit for? She babysat 6 hours. Writing in that sentence, labeling what my number means. It means how many hours I worked. I'm good to go. And last but not least, BMS, Butler Middle School, charges $2 to see the talent show. The school collected $436. Write and solve an equation to show how many tickets were sold. I would like you to try this one on your own and then come back and check your work. So pause the video, give it a try, and then come back and see if you did it correctly. So if you did this problem correctly, your equation should have been 2 times your variable equals 436. I used the letter T for the tickets. 2 times the number of tickets sold was equal to $436. I solved by dividing, and I got 218 tickets were sold. Remember, your answer needs to match what your question is asking. How many tickets were sold? 218 tickets. Making sure we have the correct label is just as important as the correct answer.